What is up, you guys? It's Tony Holiday, and today I want to talk to you about 7 plugins that I regularly use in my productions that are 100% free to download. Now, free plugins is kind of a rabbit hole that we've all been stuck down before, where you download hundreds of plugins that are available because you think they're going to be great. I find that I personally don't end up using about 95% of those when I've been in those rabbit holes. I've compiled this list of free plugins that I regularly use in my production, and like I said, they're all completely free, and I recommend you download these as well. In total of the 7, there's 4 software instruments and then 3 audio effects. The way I'm going to showcase this to you is I'll showcase the 4 software instruments first, and then I'll add the 3 audio effects on top of the MIDI that I've used, probably from Apple loops in those software instruments. So then you can see how the audio effects affect the original software instruments on top of that. I will leave links in the description below for all the download links and web pages of all these plugins, so they're easy for you to get. But yeah, with that being said, let's get straight into the video, and I'm gonna show you these 7 plugins that I use regularly in my productions that are 100% completely free. But yeah, let's go. Plugin number 1, and this one's been around for a while, and that's Native Instruments Komplete Start. Native Instruments has Komplete, which is like a massive software library, which is on sale right now if you're watching this in still June. But what Komplete Start is, it's kind of like a bare bones version of the regular Komplete. Now, when I say bare bones, I don't mean in the sense that it doesn't have much, because it actually probably has the most out of any of these plugins that I'm gonna recommend. It's just in comparison to the large Komplete, this is kind of like a bare bones version. Here's the webpage on Native Instruments. So Komplete Start is 100% free. It's a free download. There's over 2,000 studio quality sounds with that, 16 pro-grade synths and sample instruments, effects, loops, and samples. And you can preview and play it all in complete control. I kind of find with this one, there is some dated products that I don't necessarily use all the time, but in these included products here, I tend to use the TRK01 bass quite a lot. I also use the Play Series selection. The Analog Dreams and Hybrid Keys are awesome synths. I really like those. The vintage 13 instruments that revive the legendary sounds of analog synthesizers and keyboards. That's a really great one as well. I have the 2 effects. The Guitar Rig 6 player is a really great audio effect if you are a guitar player and you're starting to record yourself doing that. Also included is the Contact 6 player. Now, this is probably the main one that I kind of really like with this. And that's kind of like the house that you use to play things like the Play Series and a lot of those other instruments, and I'll showcase that to you right now. So let's get into Logic. And this is what Contact looks like, or the Contact player anyways. And let's do something from the Play Series down here, and I really like, let's do the Hybrid Keys. This is what Hybrid Keys looks like, and I'm gonna just pull up like an Apple loop to get us started there. So maybe let's do something electric piano. Let's do this 2-step poolside piano. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close the Apple loop. I'm just gonna take that MIDI and move it up to Komplete Start, and I'll get rid of the preset that they added there. So let's take a listen to this MIDI with Native Instruments Hybrid Keys. So as you can see, for a free plugin, it's really high quality instruments. Let's do like the Marimba Shimmer. Probably not what I would use for that MIDI, but you get the idea of kind of what's available here. Let's do one more try of this one with the Analog Dreams, my other favorite one that comes with Komplete Start. Let's do the Oberbrass. So it's kind of like a really big sort of synthy analog sound, obviously with Analog Dreams. Komplete Start, guys, that's a really great one with Contact. Like I said, includes all those other ones that we went to on the website here. So Complete Control, Guitar Rig 6. You should definitely just download this and get a check through all of those. Like I said, the TRK01 bass is a really great one too. Komplete Start by Native Instruments. It's been around for a while, but it's not a sleeper. It's a phenomenal download, especially for free to get all these high quality instruments. Next up, what we have is the Spitfire Audio, and that is Labs. Spitfire Audio is an awesome company. I really like the stuff that they do. They've sampled like the BBC Symphony Orchestra. They do really high quality samples and make them into virtual instruments. And Labs is completely free, and it's kind of like Contact in the sense it like houses a bunch of different samples, but they're so good. I believe the favorite amongst the producer community is the soft piano. It's really great for lo-fi. They recently put out a bass guitar, which is awesome too. Let's kind of get into labs and I'll show you why these are so great. Let's see what kind of instruments we have here. So there is the Moon guitar, is really cool. Let's do this beachside electric. Again, we can just grab the MIDI, move that up, and delete the instrument. So that's the Moon guitar, the Moon Guitar 1. This is another one here, the electric piano, the chorus. This is a really cool one. The best thing about labs as well is they typically put out instruments at least once a month, I believe. And they're always different too. So like the guitar harmonics, the lap steel, these are typically sample instruments that you're not gonna find elsewhere. Check out their other libraries as well. Like I said, the BBC Symphony Orchestra is phenomenal. Definitely don't sleep on labs. Go grab that one right away. All right, next up is Vital. Now, Vital is made by a gentleman named Matt Teitel. Vital is kind of like a version of Serum, except it's new. So Serum's obviously been around the music production community since Steve Duda released that, has become a favorite of many producers, you know, electronic, lo-fi, because of its simplicity to sound design, as well as just the presets that have been made by the community. It's very widely used. Now, Vital came on the scene not too long ago, and it's kind of like a version of that. Now, they're not the same by any means, I'm not saying that, but Vital does have some similar traits to it that really makes Serum great. So it is a wavetable synthesizer. There's some presets in here that I really like. This plucked string preset by Matt Teitel is awesome. So let's get another MIDI here. So let's maybe do like a synth. Let's take a listen to this. So this is the plucked string in Vital. I know that Michael from In The Mix as well did some presets on here. This analog pad. The best thing about Vital is it just comes with a lot of these presets to start. I think it's 75. So here's the Vital website. Warp waves in new ways. Give new life to wavetables by using Vital's spectral oscillator warping. Really cool stuff Matt's made here. Visual synthesizer. So that's kind of like what I was comparing it with Serum there. It's very visual. It's easy to get into sound design that way. Here's the pricing for Vital if you did want to upgrade. I'm just using the basic free package right now with 75 presets, 25 wavetables. It's more than enough to get you started with Vital and kind of checking it out and seeing if it's something that you'd want to pursue. But there is some awesome plans here as well with the subscription and the pro model. Vital, huge plus. Definitely recommend it for all genres. Go check that one out. All right, and last but not least, what we've come to with the fourth and final software instrument of these 7 free plugins is Guitar Lite 2. Guitar is a really hard instrument to sample, and I think Guitar has done a great job with making like a plugin that actually emulates a guitar pretty close to what a real acoustic one sounds like. So let's pull up some MIDI, we'll put it in here, and I'll give you a show of what it sounds like. So this is with the Guitar Lite with the Cuban Cha-Cha guitar MIDI here from Apple Loops. There's lots of different stuff in here. So they have like a strumming mode. There's effects, so you can turn the reverb, the phaser on and off. I think Guitar has done a great job, especially for something that's like a free instrument, to give a good acoustic guitar sound here. There is also 2 other instruments that Guitar offers for free, and one is the percussion cloud drum and one is the bass P Lite. Both also sound excellent. I would just say I use Guitar M Lite in the majority of my productions. I believe it's sampled off of a Martin D41 as well, which is kind of cool if you're into guitar and things like that. I highly recommend. It's a great plugin when it comes to using guitars. I use it tons. So at this point now, I've done the 4 software instruments. I want to get into the 3 audio effects as well that I think are really worth having. The first one I want to use is Infected Mushroom Wider. So Polyverse makes Infected Mushrooms Wider, which is a kind of stereo imaging plugin, except it guarantees that it's always going to be in phase by their algorithm. I'm not sure how that works. It's like a stereo expander that will always keep it in in phase. It's a really great way to widen out your tracks, especially if you're just looking for it to kind of be on the sides in a mix or make it bigger. So pseudo stereo without phase issues. Wider takes the massively popular stereo section from its sibling manipulator and creates the illusion of an expanded stereo image of a mono signal to an awe-inspiring amount of width. Very cool plugin. I use this plugin all the time. I think it's a great addition to anybody, especially for free. So let's actually throw that onto Ample Guitar Lite. And now look what happens when I expand the stereo width here. So I'll play the Ample Guitar, and that's at 0%. And then as I drag this up, you'll kind of hear the image get wider. This is exceptionally great for things like pads, vocals, or background vocals that you're really trying to kind of get to sit around the sides of the mix as well. Polyverse's Infected Mushroom Wider, definitely a must cop. Next up on audio effects, I want to showcase to you an awesome company. I really like their stuff, and that is Valhalla DSP. I'm a big fan of the vintage reverb, the Valhalla delay. They just make high quality plugins at great prices. One of their free options is Valhalla Supermassive, and that's kind of like a massive algorithmic reverb. So if we scroll down on the Valhalla DSP website here to the bottom right corner, there's Valhalla Supermassive there. There's a free download. So it's been designed from the ground up for massive delays and reverbs. Blow your mind on your music to new levels of consciousness. Get ready for luscious clouds of reverb, otherworldly delays, swelling waves of feedback unlike any you've heard before. I actually use this plugin in Sound Playground to make all of the reverse reverbs to kind of give them a nice long tail. I like to bust out to this plugin a lot to give my instruments some nice reverb on the sides. So let's kind of show you how that sounds. I'm going to use the Ample Guitar Lite again, and I'm going to get the Valhalla Supermassive. This is what a traditional Valhalla DSP plugin looks like. So you'll see in the Valhalla presets, there's echoes, modulations, reverbs, sound effects. I usually stick around the reverb section. One of my favorites is this Space Verb 1999. So let's see what that sounds like on top of the Ample Guitar. I just want to make sure that this reverb is off. So this is the Ample Guitar without the reverb, and I'll add it afterwards. That was just dry, and then here's with the Valhalla Supermassive on there. Right away, you can tell it kind of gave it like a bit of an 80s vibe there with the Space Verb 99. I'll add a massive one on here just so you can get an idea of what it sounds like with the huge reverb and how you can kind of use that tastefully in your mixes. See how when I stopped the track there, the reverb just hung around for so long? That's a Valhalla Supermassive reverb. They stick around for, I think, even 20 seconds at a time, some of these. It's a really cool plugin to kind of mess around with, experiment with. I highly recommend it. Valhalla makes some great plugins. I like the Valhalla Vintage Reverb as well, if you are looking to purchase some of their premium plugins. All right, so last but not least on our list of plugins today, and this is a classic. It's loved amongst the producer community, especially the lo-fi community, and that is Izotope Vinyl. Now, what Izotope Vinyl does is it's a plugin that you put on top of your tracks that make them sound like they're from an older era. So they have like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s styles of record players, and it'll give that sound to your track that you've placed it on. So I'm on the Izotope website here. If you just scroll down to the bottom, and then you go to resources, free plugins, you'll see there's vinyl, imager, vocal doubler, visual mixer. We're gonna go to vinyl. And this is the ultimate lo-fi weapon now with native control standard. They actually just changed the look of this recently. They kind of gave it a little bit of a facelift. I really like this plugin if you're just trying to add some character. It's kind of like an RC20, but a poor man's version. Let's put it on one of our tracks and I'll show you how it works. Let's use the Complete Start. So this is the Analog Dreams and Contact here. I'm gonna add the audio effect here. And this is what Izotope Vinyl looks like. Now, as you can see, there's 30, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 2000 for styles of record player. There's the mechanical sound, which if I put this up, you'll hear it. Same with electrical. There's like a warping effect, some scratches, dust, wear and tear, a lo-fi button. This one is probably used the most, I would say. So let's try some different parameters here and I'll show you how it sounds. So this is what the native Complete Start sounds, just raw without anything. Let's turn vinyl on and let's go lo-fi. Let's add a little mechanical noise in the back, maybe a bit of wear, not so much dust and the warp, and we'll play this one from a 1960s record. That's a little bit too much in my opinion. Another cool button is this spin down button, and it's not really that useful when you're just clicking around in the plugin. However, if you want to automate this, it's very cool for you to kind of end tracks on this way or create different breakdowns in your tracks. So check this out when I click this button. And it just stops like that. So again, really cool to automate. Izotope vinyl has been used in the lo-fi community since its inception. It's a cool plugin. It's not going to replace your RC20 by any means. However, it will give you some kind of cool sounds and take your more modern sounding things and maybe give them a little more color or texture that you're looking for in your tracks. One more thing I want to mention to you guys as well. These are my kind of 7 favorite free plugins, but by any means, there are phenomenal ones out there that I haven't included in this list. A really great way to do this is to go to Plugin Boutique or other websites that showcase a lot of different plugins and go to the free section. And what they'll do is they'll list different plugins that are available for free. And a lot of the time they're actually just linked to the actual manufacturer's website as well. So you don't need to worry about getting any viruses or anything downloading like that. But yeah, guys, these 7 plugins, I use them regularly in my production. I think you should try test them out. Maybe you'll use some, maybe you won't use some, but I think they are worth the download and at least just exploring the plugins to see what they have. Maybe that'll even get you to purchase some of the more premium ones that are offered by these manufacturers. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up below and also subscribe to my channel for other cool music production related content. All the download links are in the description below. So if you can check those out and you want to download some of these plugins for free, I highly recommend them all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. Cheers.